You stumbled upon a math concept and no matter how much you try, you cannot possibly understand it. You asked your teachers and whatever they say doesn't make any sense. You Google it, still looking like aliens wrote it. Now what? Now how can you understand the ununderstandable? In this video we will talk about that. So let's begin. Recently, I have been reading this book, Surely You Are Joking, Mr. Feynman. And in this book, there's a chapter where Richard Feynman did some experiment with his mathematician friend. I will just tell you its result. Its result was that human mind, even at basic levels of different people, works in unimaginably different ways. So different people think about things really differently, even counting. Like Richard Feynman used to count like 1, 2, 3 in his mind, like he's counting, he's saying those words in his mind. And his mathematician friend saw a tape in front of him which counted the numbers. So see, for counting even this simple thing, one person was like mumbling the words inside his mind and other was seeing a tape. See, very different approaches for the same basic task. So Richard Feynman concluded that the brain of different people works in really different ways. And if it is that different in doing this simple task like counting, think about how differently would people think about complex concepts and ideas. See, we normally make a framework in our mind to understand stuff. We have a previously well-established framework in our mind which worked for like everything. And whenever a new idea comes, we try to fit that idea into our previous framework to understand that. Now here the problem arises. What if that previously well-established framework is not suitable to further advances? Like the framework was working well till now, but for this new idea it doesn't fit in that framework. And this is the exact reason why some people understand one concept really easily, like it is like intuitive for them. But for some other people, it is not that intuitive because their framework was compatible and theirs not. And the problem is really severe when we are not ready to change our previously well-established framework. That framework helped us to understand like tons of stuff, and now we have to change it, and we are not ready to change our perspective toward things because like we are so bound to seeing the things in this specific way. So the reason why you are struggling to understand a specific concept is that you either don't have a framework to understand that concept, or your previously well-established framework cannot possibly fit the new concept to make any sense. That's why the new knowledge is not making any sense. So now we know we need to change our perspective, get a new framework. But from where? Like sometimes to establish a framework to understand stuff takes years. How can we just change it? How can we get a new perspective? And here modern technology can help you. See, let me explain with a real life example of mine. There is a problem in astrophysics known as the horizon problem. This example is related to physics and right now I'm talking about math, but this example is the best changing perspective experience I have, so I wanted to share it and you will also get the point. I will explain the problem in really simple terms. See, there are points in the universe that are really far apart. So far apart that even if we consider the standard Big Bang, those 2 points cannot ever possibly be in causal contact. And if they were not in causal contact, how these 2 points have such similar properties? Like wherever we look in the universe, no matter how far, we see similar properties of different places which were never in causal contact. So the question is how they have such same properties. And where I was reading it, took example of cups of tea. Like if 2 cups of tea have the same temperature, same taste, then the tea in those cups must have boiled in the same pan. So the problem is how those 2 cups of teas are so similar even though they were never boiled in the same pan. So this was the problem and I couldn't understand it. I said like the laws of physics are same everywhere. See, so those 2 points were never in causal contact, so what? Like if we start with the same initial conditions at present those 2 points would have the same properties, like laws of physics will work in the same way and they will reach the same point. So what's the problem here? And scientists, to answer this problem, introduce concepts like inflation, etc, etc. And I was so confused, like, why are you even introducing these concepts? This is not even a problem. But the problem was this framework of the wrong analogy of the T. And I tried to discuss this with different people and didn't make any sense, no progress. I was not understanding why the horizon problem was even a problem. Then I went to ChatGPT and asked it, explain me the horizon problem with an analogy. Okay, so it gave a response, still I didn't understand it. It gave a response, still no progress. Then it gave a response which made everything so clear. It gave a really good example, and the example was, see, if two students are giving a multiple choice paper of 100 questions, and we look at the papers and both the students have given the exact same answers. Now there are two possibilities. One possibility is that both the students have same upbringing, same experience, everything same. So they are so similar that their answers are same. And the other explanation is that those two students must have interacted at some point. And the horizon problem states that if those two students have never interacted, then how their answers are so similar. So now this makes sense. What is more plausible? They having the same upbringing, same experiences, or their interaction. Their interaction is much more plausible. So ChatGPT explained to me why my hypothesis of having same physical laws and same evolution is not a very good fit. That's why they introduced the concepts like inflation. So AI helped me to change my perspective toward this horizon problem. So this is exactly, you can do it. If you are not understanding differentiation, ask ChatGPT to explain it to you with some analogy. If now even you don't understand it, just regenerate the response. You will get infinite different analogies, and soon you will find a framework that you will understand, and as soon as you understand it, you will quickly leave the old framework and switch to it and accept the new framework because it is helping you grow. So I'm telling you, this new age of AI is really good for learning. Like, you can discuss a lot of stuff with ChatGPT, and this has given everyone the power to understand anything because now you can get analogies. You can explain what you are not understanding like 10 times. Now you don't have the fear of being misjudged. So what you got from this video is that to understand something you need to change your framework. And to change your framework, you can use ChatGPT like I did. So I hope you got the point. Now after this video, just go to ChatGPT and discuss with it whatever you don't understand in math, like trigonometry, differentiation, integration, how differentiation relates to integration. Many people don't understand how differentiation and integration are related. Go and discuss it and ask for analogies. It will create a really good framework in your mind. And thanks for watching this video, and always remember that math is everything.